Hello, it's me James and welcome back to another episode of Simply Survival. In today's video, I've got some really important news, especially for my illegals collectors. I've mentioned a couple times in previous videos that big mobs will no longer be able to go into boats. Now, I originally thought I would have way longer to actually, do this. But as it turns out, I don't think we actually do. See, the day that I'm recording this is the 18th. And it is actually the day that Minecraft Legends has been released. I noticed this tweet from David Fries, and he says, by the way, we aren't releasing 1.19.80 today, which means they have actually got it ready, which means this update is actually coming soon. And if we take a look at the preview changelogs, we can see that mobs can now enter boats only if they are smaller than the boat itself. Now, they've named a few mobs down here. However, there are way more mobs than just these three, and hopefully this video will help you, get all of the mobs before it's too late. Not only am I going to tell you what mobs we need, but I'm going to show you how to transport them to your illegals museums as well. So let me show you what I've done. I've basically focused on getting the rarer mobs in the boats first of all, because obviously it's easy to get the easier ones, and we can do that really quickly at the end. Now let me go through some of the mobs that I've got. I've got 2 Ravengers with 2 Pillagers riding them. I've got a Polar Bear. I've got all 7 different varieties of Panda Bear. I've got a Spider Jockey. This one was a real pain to get, and you'll see why soon. I've got a Guardian, another one that was a bit of a pain, but wasn't too bad. Now, I do actually need an Elder Guardian, but the reason I'm not bringing that right now is because I don't want to keep getting the effect that it gives you. I mean, if I got that all the time, I wouldn't be able to work on my museum. We've got skeletons riding skeleton horses. We've got a Ghast in a boat. You can't really see the boat. We've got a Hog or a Hoglin. I think this is a Hoglin. And outside on its own, I've just got this skeleton horse in a boat. So I am going to need to get a horse, a mule, a llama, and a donkey. But all of them ones are going to be really easy to get because I can just ride them. But what I want to do right now is show you the process of how I got all of these ones into my museum. The majority of the mobs that you see me move in today's video, I will be moving through the nether. This is because if we use the nether, we will have to travel a lot less distance than the overworld. Also, before you start moving mobs, you are going to want to get yourself a bunch of name tags, so you can obviously name tag the mobs so they do not despawn. I've had a few mobs in this video actually despawn, so yeah, make sure you've got your name tags. For mob number 1, we're going to focus on the Ghast. You can see here I've made a little gas pod, or whatever you want to call it. I've got a portal set up at the back with a boat in the center. Now on the other side of this portal, you will see I've got it set up in the air, and we've got some kind of grid. This is going to allow the Ghast to spawn on this grid and hopefully go through the portal. Now, I was really lucky. As I was running around this grid, I heard a Ghast sound, and I did look around for it, and I couldn't find it. So I kind of assumed that it may have gone through the portal already without me having to do actually anything. Originally, I was going to pull it through with a fishing rod, but as you can see, as soon as I go through the portal, I've actually got a Ghast in there, and it was really simple to obtain. So straight away, of course, I need to add my name tag. So that's the first thing I'm going to do as soon as I've got the Ghast. That way, it's not going to despawn. Once you've name tagged your Ghast, you are free to finish off the pod. Now, you've got to be careful not to get hit by a fireball. I'm going to show you the first ever attempt at me getting a Ghast. You can see the slight difference between my pod and my new pod is this one has basically got a wooden floor. This was really bad. You can see straight away, I thought I had the Ghast. I thought I put out the fire, but I was actually completely wrong. Yeah, the fire was still going inside the Ghast. I was like, oh damn. But at this point, the wooden floor is connected to the rest of my museum. You can see, boom, I fall through, and I was like panicking. I was like, damn, my museum, it's literally going to burn down. But fortunately enough, I managed to get up there in time and put it out before any other damage was caused. But yeah, this is definitely a heads up not to use a wooden floor for a Ghast. For mob number 2, we're going to focus on Zoglins and Hoglins. I've set up another booth with a boat in the middle and a portal at the back. This time, the portal actually goes to my safe paths at the top of the nether. This is where I travel around, and as I said, this is completely safe. I basically ran down the paths until I could find a red warped biome, and basically, you can see here that zoglins just spawned as I approach the biome. So at this point, all I need to do is lure them back to the portal. But remember, we need to get our name tags on them. So you can see here, I quite literally risk my own life to get these name tags on because they are very, very important. If we don't have these on, they will despawn. Another really important piece of information, zoglins are scared of portals. Of course, when they go through, they become zombified. Maybe they turn into zoglins. I don't know. I might have got this wrong, but yeah, they're scared of portals. So what you basically have to do is bring them towards the portal like this, as you can see. And when they are standing on the portal, that is the point when you light it. And you can see here that I managed to light the portal first time. Of course, very accurately lighting the portal. And yeah, the zoglin will go through to the other side. And then, of course, all we've got to do is go through our nether portal. Probably best to go through another nether portal like I did. And then we're going to go back to our museum. And boom, we have our name tag zoglin or hoglin. I mean, let me know in our booth. Next up, let's talk about pandas. You can see here there are 7 different varieties of pandas, including my personal favorite, the brown panda. Now, what I've gone ahead and done is put these 7 different varieties of pandas in these 7 different varieties of chest boat. I mean, it kind of just made sense to do that. Now, it's entirely up to you if you do want to get all 7 varieties in a boat. Personally, I think they look cool. But how exactly did I do this? Well, let me show you. To find pandas, you actually need to come to the jungle. Now, my nearest jungle is located near my end portal. I was originally going to put them through the end. However, there is a bug in the game at the minute where if you put them through the center fountain, the mobs will literally go to level 500 and you will just lose them. So that option was not viable. Now, of course, I could have used the nether, but I just didn't. I'll show you what I did in a second. It was actually quite fun. But right now, let me show you how I got all 7 varieties of panda. Basically, you can see here, I've got this little area and it's kind of started to be cleared out. That was my process. You can see already over there, as I stood on this tree, a panda spawned. If we go over to see what panda that is, I don't know what panda it is, but we can see. I don't know what sort of one that is. But yeah, it's a panda, okay? So what I would do then is put it in a boat, name tag it, and take it to this river. And, of course, wait till I've got all 7 different varieties. I'm not going to lie, this process did take a hell of a long time. And now, for my personal best bit. How did I get them from the jungle all the way to my museum? Well, I thought a pretty fast method would be, like, riding them in a boat. So that's exactly what I did. I kind of figured out I had a river that literally links all the way, or at least nearly links all the way to my museum. If I follow this river all the way down right now, you will see that it literally goes all the way to my museum. Now, there was a few modifications that I had to make. Uh-oh, I have no rockets left. And the modifications to the river actually start here. Now, I did have to make, like, certain bits a little bit wider, but this was an actual fresh river that I had to add in the middle using TNT. This bit took so long to do, but I was so happy once I'd done it. It's such an easy way to move mobs. It probably wasn't the best or the fastest way, but it was really enjoyable to do. And, I mean, saying that, it was actually pretty fast to do. As soon as I'd got the river built, yeah, I was literally getting them to my museum in no time. You can see already we're nearly at my base. Now, this bit was a little bit tight, but just around this corner, we will actually get to the museum. And as you can see, yep, we got to the museum. Now, to get it up this little stream that I have here, I basically just attached a lead to each boat and then pulled it up one by one. One thing, actually, I want to know about the pandas. The hitbox on the panda is incredibly huge. Like, huge. The best way to access the boat or break a boat or even add a lead to the boat is from the bottom of the boat once a panda is in it. As soon as a panda gets in a boat, you pretty much don't have access apart from the bottom of the boat. Now, once I had all the pandas up to this level near my museum, I still needed to get them to the top roof of my museum, which was a little bit long. So, as you can see in this clip, I built a stone kind of wall stream thing, which I could get up using water and boats and ropes again. And one by one, I pulled them up the stream. You can see here, I took the panda out of its original boat so I could push it into its new chest boat. I did this to all 7 pandas until all 7 pandas were in the top of my museum. Next on the list, we've got Ravengers with Pillagers riding them. Now, you'll see from the clip I'm about to show you, these two are not the mobs that I originally got. I actually used a backup and did it again. I did it a lot more cleanly than you'll see in this clip. But I wanted to show you what could possibly go wrong as well. Originally, I forgot to name tag one of the guys, so they despawned. And I had a lot of trouble getting the second guy in, which you'll see very soon. Now, I want to know, the only way that you can get these Pillagers riding Ravengers is by doing a raid. Now what I did was set up a raid farm very close to my museum, and a bit like how I moved the pandas, I literally lured them all the way up this line and into the ceiling. We just need one more Ravenger with a mob riding it. Hopefully it doesn't come too close to the farm as well, so we need to be careful about that. Oh, perfect. Oh, there's two. Right, let's go. Let's go. Right, he's really after me. Right, maybe we can just go this way. Right. Oh, God. This is crazy. This magic guy is on another level. Go! This is insane. Go! I don't feel safe at all. Oh my. Oh, run. Let's move. Reattract this. No! It's those Vex that are annoying. Come on. We're nearly there. Oh. Well, the Ravenger seems to be fully immobilized on those slabs, which is really not good. So, I think what I'm going to do is remove this and this. And just give it a punch. Yes! Right, at least it's in. Next up, we have skeletons riding skeleton horses. Now, the hardest part about this one is actually finding the mob itself. Now, the best bet, what I would do, is probably go AFK near your museum and wait for lightning to strike and hope you will get some of these spawn. Now, fortunately enough for me, as you can see, I had 4 spawn on my roof of my museum. So, I took the opportunity to get 2 of these in a boat. I lured them into a certain section on the roof. This section was above the booth that I'd made with the boat in already. So all I had to do was block them in and then remove the floor and they would fall in the boat. So that's exactly what I did. You can see here I'm blocking it from both sides and then I'm removing the slabs from underneath. You can also see I had a little bit of trouble with this one. So I also learned that on the second one I needed to do a little bit bigger of a floor removal rather than just 4 pieces. So yeah, as I said, it just didn't want to drop down with 4 blocks removed. So instead I removed a couple of pieces of the roof, and as soon as I do that, you can see the horse falls right into position. Now for the second horse, you can see I lure it into the exact same spot, although this time instead of breaking it from the top, I break it from the bottom. The reason I do this is so it does not fire an arrow, killing the other horse in the boat. That way we can have 2 skeletons riding 2 horses in one boat. Next up, we're going to get the Guardian. Now, remember, I'm going to leave my Elder Guardian, but first of all, I start off with the pod, the boat, and, of course, the Nether Portal once again. I'm just centralizing my boat because I want the mob to be in the center of the pod rather than on the side. I think that should be good enough, so I'm free to go through to the portal. The portal leads to the safe tunnels in the top of the Nether. This time, to transport the mob though, we cannot just let it follow us because obviously it's a water mob and out of water it's just not that great. So this time I had to set up a track. That also means that we're going to have a minecart as well. And of course, to find the mob itself, we need to find an ocean monument. That means I had to set this track all the way down to an ocean monument portal, which was actually quite a far distance away. This is the portal where the ocean monument is behind, and you can see this is how I had it set up. So I'm just going to go through and show you the setup of how I was able to trap the guardian. It's actually a really simple setup. The portal itself has been broken right now because yeah, I don't need to use it. But you can see as I approach it, already some guardians are starting to pop up. Basically, all it is, on one corner of this monument where the guardians spawn, I put a bunch of soul sand going up to a water stream, and the water stream pushes them into the portal. It was as simple as that. You can see that the system made things really easy. I did have to do a little bit of punching to get one through the portal, but eventually one went through. And as soon as we got through to the other side, I just had to remove any mobs that might block my way or damage my guardian that was in my minecart. Of course, I had to remember to name tag this guy, and then once I'd done all that, I was ready to push him to the portal. And that I did. I pushed him all the way to my museum portal, broke the minecart, and he went straight through. Now, I wish it was actually that simple. I'm kind of lying a little bit. I did this multiple times with multiple different guardians. And for whatever reason, sometimes the guardians just didn't want to go through the portal again. I have no idea, like through the portal to my museum. So I literally got them there and I couldn't get them to my museum. Definitely a bug in the game. I mentioned it in a previous bug video. So if you're having this problem, all I did to fix it was literally get myself a new guardian. Very close to my ocean monument, I actually had a snow biome, so I took advantage of this and got myself a polar bear. I was luring him through the tunnels just by foot, and then I realized, hey, why don't I just use the minecart rail I had before? So that's exactly what I did. I pushed him all the way to my museum portal. On the other side of my museum portal, I had already set up a polar bear pod, so all I had to do was lure him through the portal, and then of course go back to my museum to find him in his pod. Last but no means least, we have got the spider jockey. Now this one was a real pain to actually get. You could just get a normal spider, but I wanted to get a spider jockey because of course that is a lot rarer mob. Let me very quickly show you where I was able to locate spider jockeys. So the way I got my spider jockeys was pretty simple. I simply AFK'd at a spider spawner and waited for one to come. Now, of course, that would have been really impressive if one came straight away. I kind of underestimated how, fast and how hard these ones were going to be to get. The plan was wait for one to spawn and then lure it all the way through here and all the way to the museum. It wasn't that far. The longest part of this is definitely waiting for a spider jockey to spawn. I had a number of them spawn, although afterwards I wasn't too careful on leading them to my museum. I think one burnt to death. I had one get killed by literally another spider jockey. I lured one out in broad daylight, which was just my own fault. But the last time, what I decided to do was name tag him and then save and quit and wait for a backup. This way, I wouldn't have to keep waiting for a spider jockey. And of course, as soon as I did wait for the backup, I was able to get the spider jockey in first time. I mean, what are the chances, right? These things are incredibly fast. I did underestimate that, as I said. I would also recommend if you do see one out and about randomly, do not skip it. I would just put it in a boat straight away because honestly, it was so long waiting for them to come through the spawners. But yeah, eventually we got there. Sweet, there we go. I'm pretty sure we have all of the big rare mobs in boats now. Remember, there are going to be a number of different combinations of mobs you could actually put in boats. So you wouldn't have to do just singular mobs in singular boats. There are thousands upon thousands of different combinations you could actually do. Get the older Guardian, you're going to want to do the same process as the Guardian. And remember, you're going to need to get horses, donkeys, llamas, and I think that's it. But if I've missed any, do not worry. There is a full list located in the Jam Fam Discord server. I'm going to put a link to that in the description below. So that's all I've got time for today. I hope this helps you out in your world. I will catch you on the next one.